You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart. You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of
the face of love.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my
heart. You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
روح خدایی.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of love.
You are the face of
You
love.
are the face of love.
I hold you in my
I hold you in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my
I hold
heart.
you in my heart.
You are a part of me.
a part of me.
You are the face of
You
God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the
God.
face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
روح خدایی.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face of
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the
Good morning and welcome to Spiritual Life Center, a church that love is building.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
We are intended to enjoy life, not to put up with life. And if there is one key to enjoying life, no matter what's going on around us, the key is revealed in Reverend Martha's message this morning. But first, let's open with prayer. We come together this morning, dear God, to be lifted up, to be raised up out of the problem and into the solution, away from any sense of darkness and into the light. I know that there is a solution to everything. There is an answer. There is something I can do. And so, God, I call on you so that I am made to be fully alive, that you are alive in me, flowing through me, doing your mighty work in me, not only acknowledging your mighty power residing in me. I claim it, I embrace it, and call it forth so that from this day forth, I might function from my highest and best. This I do in a spirit of joy and positive expectation and in total gratitude for your loving presence. And so it is. Amen.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. And Lord, haste the day when the faith shall be sight, the clouds be rolled back as I scroll. No pain shall be mine, for in death as in life, thou wilt whisper thy peace to my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.
Start again.
I invite you to take this time to relax, set aside any personal concerns, Be present to this moment alone. Take a deep breath. And as you do, focus your attention on the Christ Spirit within. Feel the love of God in our sacred moment of prayer. I know, God, that you can only work with me and through me when I'm living in the present, not worrying about the future or agonizing over the past. All that matters is now. My past is complete, for it has given me wonderful treasures of the Spirit to share with others. And my future lovingly unfolds from each present moment. And just knowing how much you love me and care for me, dear Spirit, gives me the faith, the strength, and the courage to let go of everything but the love, since that alone is my true nature. Dear God, I feel your love within and around me, moving through me. As I relax further, I am relaxed and attuned to your gentle love. I look ahead to this new day with a true sense of a sacred commitment within me, a commitment to surrender. I consciously let go of any tendency to worry and release any problems I may have to God for a divine solution. All that concerns me, my family, my friends, my work, I give to God with the absolute belief that what is best for all will be the ultimate outcome. Right now, in this moment, I take any cares I may have brought with me, hurts I may be carrying in my heart. I take place them in your loving hands, and I do so in the silence, in the silence. I am trusting in you, God. I have an absolute faith that what is best for all will be the ultimate outcome. And as I do, I become more and more open to your ideas, activities, relationships. As I surrender, I open myself and my life to blessing after blessing. I make a commitment to live my life from the Spirit of God within me, so that I bring a sacredness to all that I do. I enter enthusiastically into this day, this week, with optimism and joy and gratitude. I let go and allow your light to shine forth in my life and into my world. Daily, I will send prayers to bless the children and people around the world. I pray for harmony, healing, wisdom, and peace toward all. And now, let us join together and pray as we sing the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give
this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Nobody can tell ya there's only one song worth singing. They may try and sell ya, 'cause it hangs them up to see someone like you. But you've gotta make God's own kind of music, sing God's own special song, make God's own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. You're gonna be nowhere, the loneliest kind of lonely. It may be rough going just to do your things, the hardest thing to do. But you've gotta make God's own kind of music, sing God's own special song, make God's own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. So if you cannot take my hand, and if you must be going, I will understand. And you've gotta make God's own kind of music, sing God's own special song, make God's own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. Yes, you've gotta make God's own kind of music, sing God's own special song, make God's own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along.
Hi, everybody. It's Martha here, Martha Creek, marthacreek.com to contact me. I send you blessings today as I think about the message. And I interviewed somebody last year that won the Walden Award that will be one of our key presenters here at the Anton Conference coming up in September, which is antn.org, the affiliated New Thought Network. And I'm on the board and the conference chair for that. And I'm so proud of what we've put together there. It's at Unity Village. And the information is at antn.org if you want more information about it. But in interviewing this man that who's a Nigerian living in India named Bayo, B-A-Y-O, he said this more than once. The times we're in are so urgent that we have to slow down. And I remember we have to slow down in urgent times. And I remember my own philosophies, my own beliefs about this. Like I remember so vividly. And back then I went to a gym. It's been a long time ago, 9/11. And I was there when I saw these bombings of these towers in New York, these buildings. And I considered, what am I going to do? And I knew I would head on over to church where I was serving there in Unity of Louisville to be with the people. And I knew clearly that before I did that, I had to go home and be still. I had to be quiet. And I had to do my own spiritual work. I had to get myself on my own solid ground. Medical people would say, you know, this is posted in emergency rooms, in triage units in emergency rooms. Number one, restore your own pulse before checking anybody else's. So I had to restore my own pulse before I started taking pulse checks. So this means then, in my experience directly, and I'm curious, of course, about what yours would be and what your practice is in times like this, that I know I have to slow down and get quiet and touch something that's beyond the circumstances and realign myself with that. So I don't know that I can go so far as to say that I trust what's happening. At times I can, I absolutely can surrender and accept the mystery of it. At times I cannot. And as I lean toward trusting the down and trusting the surreal and trusting the tragedies and trusting that God is at work here, something about it is also being taken care of. So as I'm more and more willing to trust the downs, I know that God will take care of the up. So yes, there's downs, yes, there's up, and God is in the midst of it. And even when I cannot see it, can access it or experience it, just knowing beyond this limited physical being of mine, knowing that deeply, way beyond belief, has carried me through whatever that I've experienced in this lifetime. Now, also this leaves us in humanity, us as humanity, as a species, in solidarity with the life cycles. The birthing and the dying and the coming in and the going out and the here and not here, in solidarity with that, but also in solidarity with one another. And hopefully creating a new earth, as Eckhart Tolle says, a new way of being, as Martha Creek says, that has less and less need to create success stories for myself, successes for myself, or to nitpick and fault find and create failure stories for others. That it's going to be more with an understanding of this oneness that we talk about and pray about is not just theoretical, that it is an actuality. And certainly if you believe New Thought teachings, and most faith traditions say it differently and the same thing, that there's one power and one presence, and I am that I am. I am that I am. I am one with that. So that has me. I don't have a life of my own. I have that life is expressing me as its own. And I can still continue to try to control and manipulate and beg and beseech and everything else to get my way. And if you can do that and you're having a good time of it, Godspeed and carry on. And if you notice that eventually we already have been met, all of us, every single person has already been met with a time, a circumstance, a situation, an illness, a happening in our lives that we didn't pick, didn't prefer, felt out of control in, felt in the belly of the whale over the belly of the beast over, so we couldn't fix it, control it. And certainly there's been situations and circumstances where we could not understand what was happening or why. And then the torture to continue to ask why, instead of surrendering to, in this dimension, I will never understand this. I'm not to understand it. And it's been helpful to me over the past. And I remember a very powerful image of this many, many years ago now, of I was looking at situations and happenings in life and losses and diagnosis and people and the world. My whole worldview was looking at it like, if you've ever seen needlepoint, any kind of artistic needlepoint piece on the back side of it is just this tangled, chaotic, crazy, makes no sense, no beginning, no end. Nothing can you make sense out of on the back side of it. It's just a tangled, chaotic mess. And that's how I was seeing the world, but I didn't like it. I wanted it to be in order. I wanted to see how this is going to turn out. I wanted to see the beauty in these things. And I'm physically not able to do it at times. But just knowing, just like in that needle point, when I turn that baby around, when I turn that piece of work over, when I turn that fabric over and see this creation, that was the front side of all that tangled mess. Big exhale, like, okay, so I could not see what I couldn't see yet, but just knowing that there's order in the chaos, as all the scripture and faith traditions teach us, that there's order in the chaos and that there's no pain in vain, that God is using every single thing that happens through into my life, this life that I call my own, that isn't, is on purpose. And for my own evolution, for my own salvation, so to speak. So then the only way I know how to teach anything about source, God, universe, higher power, or whatever you call it, is for me, myself, to know this power. And then to give up thinking that I can teach anybody else about God or higher power or source, and to leave you with your own relationship with God, which is one of my favorite things about what I do, that I can go sit and record some teachings about how I'm experiencing life and God and higher source, and to share the ways that I discipline myself and my devotional practices that keeps me reaching toward God, seeking to know and to align with and atone with God. And it doesn't mean I'm not already atoned. It doesn't mean I'm not already attuned, but I'm not aware of it. Otherwise, I couldn't worry and I couldn't be in unrest. I would have peace, nirvana, bliss. So it's still some WORK for me and maybe some of you to get to continue to develop our deepening relationship with God, and to absolutely be calm and confident and faith-filled that for every time I reach out to God, it is reaching back for me. So I move around and God does not. And then this is then to love God, to love as God loves, not in my judgmental, conditional kinds of ways, and how to grow that within myself. And that means then everything. It's like, I can't love everything yet. I just don't. Now I may one day, and if all of us still have a pulse, if we're listening to this, we've not ascended yet. So to continue to go forward and to lean into a willingness, if I can't love everything, that I include everything, that I accept there'll be drought and flood. Neither of them are desirable to me, to a farmer, to economy, and both are necessary for a larger order that I can't see. So in relationships, times of drought and times of flood, and in workforces, droughts and floods, in nature. So whether I love it or not, I can include it. I can accept it, that it's a part of nature and a higher order of things that I can't, with my limited understanding and my limited, nearly blind view, comprehend in this dimension. That also means extending my love for self, to stop self-hating and stop recriminating and stop blaming self. Because to the degree that I continue to do that, then I've continued doing it to you, because there is no other. And the more I hate me, the more I hate you. And the more I mistreat me, the more I'm going to mistreat somebody else. So it also invites us today, I hope, to remember that It's not just a concept of our connection, that every thought I have is affecting. So think the butterfly effect, or the tipping point, or the 100th monkey, and these things about where our thoughts are clearly causative. So then whatever I'm thinking, praying, saying, being, and living out is mutually causative. So I'm either contributing and beneficial to the whole, to the web of our connection, to the web of well-being, to the well of evolution, conscious evolution, or I'm a contributor of suffering, pain, misery, more blaming, shaming, guilting, quote, more negative causation. And I don't want my life to be about that. I want to be with you, the ones that said that people can refer to in history, that way back yonder, there was this small, mighty group of committed people that believed how they thought mattered, and how they prayed mattered, and how they were living their lives out mattered. And the world was changed by that small, devoted group of people. It's us. We're the ones. So in this mutually beneficial and benefited and effective connection, we have got more and more call for empathy, for understanding, for holding people's hurts and sufferings, and that in a very sacred container, that there is nothing that is in vain, and that pain and loss and suffering is part of the human experience, and what we're definitely going to have in our journey of the human aligned with the divine, that it's not bliss and nirvana all the time, that there are pains and losses and times of disappointments and sadness and hurt feelings and things on the emotional level. And at the root of this, and at the root of us and our own nature, is a sympathetic, empathetic kindness, compassion, respect, understanding, benevolence. And when we're not centered in that ourselves and for the care of our own spiritual well-being, then we have nothing to offer somebody else on that, other than a platitude or some preaching that has no groundedness, like a house that's been built on sand versus a house that's built with a very solid foundation. And if we continue this, it's like having a chasm, a kind of a rock, a gap, a crack in our foundation, and it grows bigger and bigger, versus these practices and living these practices in unity and new thought teachings is through our daily practices and spiritual practices to keep glue in those cracks, to say, I'm going to care for this foundation that I stand on. And then little by little, day by day, in our ever-occurring events throughout the day, and sometimes vast ways, expansive ways, we're able to transmute the former negativity. We're able to transcend those pains and losses and sufferings and that, and to lean, not denying it, not pretending it wasn't there, not pretending it didn't hurt, but to keep it in a sacred container of our whole journey. And then to include it in our vast, vast, vast life of divinity and humanity through the life of God expressing itself as us. So, and then as this happens, then we come into the meaning of true freedom, of true liberation, the meaning of this. And then that the burdens that seemed unbearable, the burdens that seemed like they were too heavy to carry, are still there, a part of us, but we've enlarged around it. So they're not as heavy. We're able to accommodate them. They don't occupy all of our heart space. They don't occupy all of our mind and mental space. So that the ones that seemed too big to bear weren't, and they become more floating, more included, more integrated into the whole of our life, into our current life, and to the life of God as us, to the love of God as us, ever expanding. And remember, friends, as I do, as I speak these words today, that God does not hold back. God is not waiting for us to get things right. And God's idea for us is perfection, not our idea of perfection. So one of my teachers, Byron Katie, which you can find at thework.com, says, it didn't turn out like I had in mind. It was perfect instead. So if thy will be done, then it's thy will, not my will. And my torture, my suffering will be when I won't accept that, don't align with that. And again, as I say it for me to hear, maybe you, I don't have to like it, don't have to love it, don't have to condone it. And here it is. So how I relate to it is where all the power of the universe resides. So there's a place where we are with what is. And in this incarnation, radical, colossal, revolutionary love finds us, invites us to surrender to it, to realign, to attune, and to give up this notion, this false attempts to control it, to manipulate it, to run the world. And I've often said, like, who needs God when you've got Martha Creek to run the world? Who needs God when we've got you to run the world? That's going to say how it's going to go and how it should go and how I want it to go and how I need it to go. Instead of, I got to come out of that. So I have wanting, and I'm wired for wanting. That's biological, scientifically proven. I'm wired for wanting. Then, okay, how to have wanting and wanting not have me. Yes, I have wanting and I don't want wanting to have me. So how to grow up a little bit so that I understand there'll be times, clearly, and plenty of times, that I don't get what I want. And people used to talk about the secret. Oh, the secret is getting what you want. And I'm like, well, it may be for some. If it works for you, God bless. The secret for me is not getting what I want, but wanting what I get and seeing the benefit of what I get, the value from what I get, and how I don't just go through something, that I grow through something. So then, as disciples, as students, as wise seekers here, we're invited to know that there's hills and valleys, and birth and death, and life and the grave, and illness and wellness, and respect and disrespect, and kindness and unkindness, both and. And the one source, the higher power, the one mind, the whatever you call it, God that knows all about this, that created this, knows, and is lifting us up, encouraging us to remember, to awaken, and to tune in to the surprise of life, the hopes of life, the fulfillment of those hopes. And I've been watching, this is really a funny story. So the former owner of this house put up these mock ceramic birds and squirrels up around all the corner pieces of the patios. So there's two patios, and up above my head on the ledges up there are these ceramic birds and squirrels and things. And when I first walked up to the house, I was like, what's that? Like something was going to fall off on me or jump off on me or whatever. And the owner said, now, please don't take these down. They have been put up here so the birds won't build their nest up here because they make such a mess. So be it. So they're still up there. I don't dodge them anymore when I come in. I've acclimated, of course, to it. And I went out on the back patio one day, and one of the ceramic birds was lying on the concrete, broken into pieces. And the beginnings of a nest was fully formed. So nature won again. So evidently there was a fight in the night that I didn't see from some kind of bird, which I didn't know at the moment what it was, with this ceramic bird. And they got that thing off that shelf, off that ledge up there so they could build their own nest. And the nest is there, and it's a robin. And she's out there every single morning every single morning when I get up. She's already on that nest, and she changes positions, and we make eye contact, and she seems not to mind that I observe. And when there's unexpected noise or something new, she usually flies. And I grin and think about the audacity and the arrogance to think that we can stop nature, that we can stop what's wiser than us. So what's a little ceramic block when I've got DNA and an impulse to nest? So 3 cheers for the robin and the mama and what will likely be babies in a few weeks. I'll keep you posted. All my blessings to you. All my blessings to you as you remember today, as we trust the down. Trust there'll be downs, to trust the downs, and God will take care of the downs and the ups, and that we're called then to be with them differently, to stay in our own solid practices of connection with this, and that every single prayer we pray, every single word we speak, every single thought we cultivate and nurture and espouse is causative. We mutually belong to one another through our holistic, holographic expression of the one power and the one presence. And that we are also in a sacred container of unconditional divine love. I love you. I bless you. MarthaCreek.com to contact me. Any questions, comments, they're welcome here.
If this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? No, not fortune or fame, they scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. If these are my last words, for
for all of the earth to hear. If all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal, it's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel is that I am doing what I can. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller 'cause of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time?
We are grateful to Daniel Namath for the beautiful singing and also for the wonderful music of Nancy Ingalls and for a powerful message, another powerful message by Reverend Martha. We are pleased that each of you could join us for this morning's service, and we invite you now to join in our prayer of sharing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we do ask that you support Spiritual Life Center with a donation to this ministry. There are now 4 ways that you might do so. First, online through our secure website, www.slctroy.com/give. The second is to mail a check to Spiritual Life Center, 41340 Fox Run Road, number 106, Novi, Michigan, 48377. The third is to call my cell, 248-925-6214, with credit card information for a one-time charge. And the fourth way we bring your attention to is in the weekly email that you receive every Friday. If you go in there, there are 3 different places where it says donate now. And if you just click that, it's the easiest way of all to make a donation. We welcome anyone joining us for one of your first times, and we invite you to join our email list by visiting our website, www.slctroy.com. And in the upper right corner, you'll see Join Email List. If you merely click on that, you can enter your name and email address, and we will send you every Friday a weekly announcement of our activities along with the link to the upcoming Sunday service and any classes or activities. If you have a prayer request, we invite you to send that to ronaldfscott@gmail.com or call my cell 248-925-6214. We'll send these on to the prayer team of more than 30 persons where they are prayed over, and the power of that group is amazing in bringing about a prayer consciousness to support you and your loved ones. We also forward these on to Silent Unity where they're prayed over for 30 days, or you can call Silent Unity on your own 24/7 and speak directly with a prayer chaplain by calling the number 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Next Sunday, we celebrate Memorial Day, and I plan to speak to the way we can both honor those who defend our country and at the same time join them in a devoted effort to promote peace. We made you aware in recent weeks that the church is reviving our Good Samaritan team, where we seek to support one another by being of assistance where we can. And we want to make you aware of a special request that's been received. There is someone in the church whose loved one is in need of a used mattress. There are financial issues involved, so if you happen to have a mattress you're about to dispose of, please let us know, because there is a Spiritual Life Center member whose loved one would greatly take it. The Church Board of Trustees met this past week, and one matter taken up was seeking further opportunities to bring us together in person. So shortly, be on the lookout for an email asking if you would be prepared to attend an in-person upcoming Sunday service. Along these lines, there will be coming to you shortly an email. And so be aware that if we do decide to hold a Sunday service, we will also have that service online for all who are not able to attend. One further announcement. For those of you who love onstage musical productions, Melanie Lee has discount tickets available for a Heart of the Hills production, an exciting, upbeat, toe-tapping production of The Pajama Game, which will be shown coming this Friday and Saturday at the Central United Methodist Church in Waterford. And the following week, June 3rd, 4th, and 5th, at the Warren Community Center Auditorium in Warren, Michigan. Now, the tickets are all going to be $12. You can use them at any of these places. And it will be Friday, May 27th at 2 p.m. and Saturday, May 28th at 7 p.m. Or the following week in Warren, it will be Friday at 2 p.m. on June 3rd, Saturday at 7 p.m. on June 4th, and then the final one, Sunday, June 5th at 2 p.m. And all you have to do is call Melanie Lee on her cell 586-295-3897, and she will arrange for you to be able to pay just $12 a seat, and you can get your tickets right there at the door getting in to the production. Immediately following the end of today's service, everyone is invited to join us on Zoom for a time of social connection. But first, let's join together in our peace song and benediction. God bless.
Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now as you go forth, know that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you.
The Lord bless thee and keep thee.
The power of God protects you.
The Lord make his face to shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee.
The presence of God watches over you.
The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and grant thee peace.
Wherever you are, God is.
Amen. Amen.
Go your way rejoicing. All is truly well.